whether or not this was a consequence of from the marketplace of a bat and interfacing with animals in the environment that caused this COVID-19, or whether it was an experiment gone awry in a laboratory. It's important to know the answer to that.
Well, just to be clear, Mercy, I know we were both excited that it was President Trump's birthday, but clearly, as much as we wanted it to be, that was President Biden, right? But it was interesting to see that President Biden is finally calling for more transparency, despite the CNN report last month that said that he shut down former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's effort to actually find out where COVID came from.
Yeah, besides attempting to hold China accountable, President Biden took advantage of his spotlight on the world stage to slam his predecessor, former President Trump. Take a listen.
You know, we had a president who basically said it's not a problem, global warming. It is the existential problem facing humanity.
That's not what he said. That's not true. Of course, though, the media can't help but eat it all up. Politico gave Biden a, quote, global win. And Bloomberg went and said that he had a win on vaccines. I'm not really sure how he had a win on vaccines, considering he had nothing to do with Operation Warp Speed. But none of it topped what this CNN anchor had to say.
Biden's press conference was, in comparison to his predecessor, a little boring. His predecessor, Donald Trump's press conferences, particularly after meetings like the G7, were a freak show. They were a circus.
Yeah, those, as you know, we were both there at different times. Those were not boring.
He actually answered questions, Sean. Let's be real.
Yeah, and
President
took
Trump
questions.
would answer questions, take questions, give access to the media, and there you go. Boring.
You know, the thing is, though, Mercy, is that they were all excited about everyone getting along. I think that's great. I hope people like us. I hope they can get along with us. But at the end of the day, I want to be respected and I want to get things done. I want to hold China accountable. I don't care about photo ops and fist bumps and getting along.
Or how about being part of the club? As President Macron talked about President Biden.
Yeah,
the club. This is not what we need.
But ironically, despite all these big wins that the media love to talk about, President Biden made some big slip-ups. First off, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson had to stop and correct President Biden during a sit-down meeting of the G7 summit because he forgot who he had been introduced to. This was awkward. Take a listen.
And the President of South Africa. And the President of South Africa, as I said earlier. Oh, you did? I did not. I certainly did.
Yeah, I introduced you to him. That was a little while ago.
I think Johnson is his handler, holding his hand. We can get through this, President Biden. But, Sean, there's this one. The president managed to insult Queen Elizabeth in an exchange with reporters. Let's take a listen.
I don't think she'd be insulted, but you've met my mother. She reminded me of my mother in terms of the look of her and just the generosity.
The mama queen, Sean. Apparently, no one on his staff told him it's rude to wear sunglasses when first meeting the queen. Apparently, the president also broke protocol by revealing the queen asked him about Putin and Xi Jinping.
Yeah, it was interesting. I would have assumed with all of that foreign policy experience, and I, again, not being nitpicky, but they love to talk about how much foreign policy experience he has, that these sort of protocol faux pas would not have happened.
Well, he might have just revealed all this information to the queen because he thought the queen was his mother. Let's be real, Sean.
God.
I mean, come on.
Well, it's obvious that the jet lag, though, is finally catching up with him because he mixed up Syria and Libya, not once, 3 times while discussing ways of working with Russia. Listen to this.
For example, in Libya, we should be opening up the passes, the rebuilding of Syria, of Libya. So I'm hopeful that we can find an accommodation where we can save the lives of people in, for example, in Libya.
Okay, Sean, you know what we call this? Cleanup time.
Yeah.
So Biden's national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, confirmed that the president meant to say Syria when he said Libya 3 different times at his press conference.
You know, when I was at the podium, one screw up and it was
Oh,
like,
boy.
Yeah, and this happens in one event over and over again, and they're like, oh, don't worry about it, no problem there.
The difference is, Sean, your press conferences, at least people were awake. I could barely keep my eyes open listening to Biden.
I know, yeah. All right, all jokes aside, though, the blunder over Russia is not looking good ahead of President Biden's meeting with President Putin on Wednesday. Mercedes, the president announced that he will not be holding a joint press conference after the event. And, you know, both of us have been there before. There's a plus and a minus to this. I mean, that most of these events, protocol has it that you get 2 questions per side. And I don't know that having just 2 questions by state TV thrown at at Putin is actually going to reveal anything.
Absolutely not. But the U.S. media wants to get Putin. Their focus is the gotcha question with Putin, not Biden.
Right. Now, it will be interesting. Does Biden actually take a ton of questions in his solo press conferences? Does he try to contain it like he has already? That's where you're going to see the proof, though.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.